Well, today, all the way from Mesa, Arizona, we have Austin Gutwein with us, and he's authored a book, Live to Give. And there's a picture of it on the screen, Letting God Turn Your Talents into Miracles, and put out by Thomas Nelson. You can check it out at Evangel, Amazon, or Barnes & Noble. And I think you'll find this to be a pretty fascinating book. Even Max Lucado got involved in this. Can one person make a huge difference? Well, Austin proves the answer is yes. Austin, nice to have you with us, friend.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, this is great. Well, you're quite the energized young man, taking on writing a book and starting a ministry. What got you going?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm 18 now and just been blessed to be along this incredible journey, just taken by God. And really, my journey, my life of giving began when I was about 9 years old. I had seen a video that just shared about this girl that lost her parents due to AIDS over in Africa. And as a 9-year-old, I didn't know what AIDS was, but hearing the story really affected me, made me want to go out and do something. And so I was just encouraged to use my favorite sport to make a difference. And I started a basketball marathon called Hoops of Hope. And now we've had about 40,000 people participate in 27 different countries. And we've been able to raise over $3 million to help these kids. And what I love about it is really just, I've grown so much and seen so much over the past 9 years of this ministry been going on. And really for me, some of the stuff that I've seen, though, that I always pull out, and it's really what kind of got me going with the Live to Give, the new book, is that our generation is stepping up and they're living that life of giving today.
You know, you're so right on, because we've done some research on generational science, and your generation, you guys don't have to hear the same sermon 50 times. You hear it once, you respond. You're not into bigness, you're just into service. And you certainly have proven that.
Absolutely. I mean, I love that about our generation. And it's just an awesome thing is that we're really shaping just this new way that, it's pretty soon here, our generation of the 90s is really going to be, the leaders of the world. And it's an incredible thing, an incredible opportunity that we have to really step up and be those future leaders of the world. And what are we going to do with that? We're inheriting a world full of problems, full of debt, and we have an incredible opportunity to step up and say, you know what, we're going to do something about that. We're going to change it. I believe that now more than ever, our generation is ready to do that.
No question about it. Now, you talk about in your book how to figure out that unique gift. Kind of walk us through that.
Absolutely. So Live to Give, really the whole premise of the book that I take it is based out of the miracle on John chapter 6 and the feeding the 5,000, and how in that miracle, what I love about it is that Jesus just uses this little boy. He uses this little boy's lunch to feed over 5,000 people. And what I love about that is that I feel like all of us have a lunch. All of us have something to offer. And when we just offer it up to God, incredible things can happen. I believe that all of us have gifts and talents, and that's really what I talk about when I talk about our lunches. We all have something that we can give to God, and really when we're ready to do it and when God is calling us to do it, we need to step up and give Him and offer Him up what we have. Because the truth is that we don't have to have a master plan. We have to plan to offer what we have to the Master.
Yeah, well said. Let me just kind of skip around a little bit for the time we have. Tell us about Hoops of Hope.
Absolutely. So yeah, I talked a little bit about how it came about. Hoops of Hope is now the world's largest free throw marathon in the world. And really what we do is we raise money by shooting hoops. It's just like walkathon, except we're going out and we're shooting baskets instead. And really what's awesome about Hoops of Hope is that it's helping teens, helping this generation like we're talking about, to really step up and realize that they can do something. And we talk a lot about it and Live to Give too. And really just the whole life of giving concept is that God is calling youth to step up. God is calling us to step up all the time. If you're an adult, it's never too late to step up. But we also do see a lot in the Bible that God is in the business of using the youth. He uses David. He uses, this little boy in John 6. He uses so many other kids and youth and teens to step up and change the world. And that's really one of the things I love about Hoops of Hope is it just continues along with that method of God just deciding that He wants to use youth to be His voice, to be His change in the world. I love that. And as youth, we have an incredible opportunity to step up and really begin that life of giving now. Because the truth is that a life of giving, it's not just a one-time thing. We don't just really quickly, give, and then that's done. Living to give is something that continues through our entire life, and constantly be looking for ways to serve others and to serve the Lord. And that's what's really awesome with Hoops of Hope, is that it's starting this generation to begin to have that life of giving.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm hearing you say something that's so interesting because it fits again the research we've done, where your generation seems to want to get engaged much sooner in serving others than perhaps maybe waiting for another period of their life, or maybe after they've raised a family. I mean, you guys are into it. Let's do it now. Let's roll up our sleeves now. Let me ask you this carefully, because I don't mean this as a criticism as you look ahead, but do you think the generations ahead have dropped the ball in this area?
The generations ahead, like the adults.
Yeah, like your parents and grandparents.
No, I would never knock other generations. Honestly,
Yeah,
you would never knock your elders. That's just like the number one rule in life.
yeah.
Uh, I do feel like I don't feel like anybody's ever really dropped the ball. I think that they've done what they can. I believe that this generation is coming up, and we're doing what we can as well. And that's what's awesome. We're doing what we're called to do. Is we have been blessed living in this country. We have this incredible responsibility to give back with that blessing. We are blessed to be a blessing. I firmly believe that.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that our generation is really continuing on with that trend that the leaders and the adults have set for us, and we're continuing on that. I don't think that anybody's dropped the ball, but I do think that now is the time to step up even more now than ever.
So where are some of the places you visited with this calling?
Yeah, I've had a chance to go all across the world and share my story. Had a chance to share, in Luxembourg and Doha and China, just all over. And it's really awesome just to have the chance to share the story of Hoops of Hope, and really the story of making a difference, the story of living to give. I've also had the chance to visit some of the work that we've done. I've been able to go to Zambia 5 times now, been all over Rwanda and Uganda as well, and Kenya. And it's just awesome to be able to see, like I said, just our generation stepping up and making a difference, really having an impact on the entire continent of Africa.
That's wonderful. How are you received among your friends your age, your peers?
It's pretty. I'm a pretty normal guy. I mean, I love hanging out with my buds and that kind of stuff. That's what I was doing last night. Might be why I'm a little bit tired. But yeah, I mean, I'm just a normal guy, and that's the truth. Is that I think that all of us are pretty normal, but living this life of giving is definitely something that's becoming something that's really popular nowadays.
Now you're getting ready to head off to college. What do you think God's calling you to do?
I feel like God's actually calling me to study political science in college.
Political science. You want to run for public office?
Someday.
You
Someday
do?
I might.
Really?
Yeah. I just feel like God's calling me to step up in that way as well. And so I don't really know when down the road that'll happen. I don't know even if that'll happen. I don't know if God will call me something totally different. But just continuing on with the message in the book and living to give is it's always being open to God's direction, where He wants to lead you. And I am. I feel like this is where He's calling me right now. And I'm looking forward to seeing what God has for me.
That's very encouraging. Our family is very involved politically, and so we've been where you want to go, and I'm excited and quite frankly encouraged that your generation sees hope in going ahead and running for public office, even though it seems to be a bloodbath.
Well, to be honest with you, if things weren't as bad there, I don't think I'd be as encouraged to actually do something about it.
How do you look at the political scene as a young person? Are you worried about our country?
Honestly, that's kind of funny. I don't really talk about this that much in interviews, but sometimes I get worried about it. But to be honest with you, I think that really motivates me more. I feel like that motivates our generation more. Is that we realize that we're inheriting a country and a nation full of debt, but we're also inheriting the greatest nation on the face of the earth, and we have an incredible opportunity to bless others still and constantly. So really, I see the problems that we're going through right now as an opportunity for hope, an opportunity for us and our generation to really get out there and do something to change it. And we really have that incredible opportunity to make a difference. And I really believe that if our generation can step up and take our country back to where we were founded upon, some incredible things will happen again in this nation.
So, do you feel your generation is looking to God as the answer?
Uh, I feel like I mean we live in a world full of so many other uh, just things leading people astray nowadays, and that's the truth. And I feel like though the truth is that we look back to Israel,
Hmm.
and I see is when we look back to Israel and we see when times were bad, when they were turning away from God, where did they go? They turned back to God, and times got better, and they were with God, and things were prospering. I really believe that our nation is starting to see that. I believe that we will begin to turn back to God. I believe that if times were to get worse, that would actually point us back towards God, because we realize that we cannot do any of this on our own. We're just human beings, but we have a God that cares about us and loves us. And I believe that as we continue to turn back to God as a nation, some incredible things can happen. I believe though that starts at the top.
All right. So, what do you want people to get from Live to Give? Because it's a fascinating book. Your chapter titles are kind of amusing.
I hope so. I hope so. Well, I hope that people get a little bit more than just some funny chapter titles.
Yeah.
Really, my whole goal in writing Live to Give is to help everybody to realize that God has given you a special gift and talent, many of them. And the truth is that God wants you to use those for Him and to bring Him glory, also to change the world for Him. And so my hope is that you'll pick up a copy of the book and really find out how God has gifted you and how you can use it to change the world for Him. Because the truth is that God wants to use you. But also too, as we've been talking about all throughout, our little segment here is Live to Give. What I really kind of find out as I'm writing this book, even about myself, is that living to give is this life of giving.
Yeah.
And so, challenge in the book. I will tell you that you're not going to read this book and be the same person at the end of it. It's an awesome thing, but you'll be challenged to really commit to living that life of giving, to constantly looking for those opportunities when you can use your gifts and talents, because God has gifted you with some amazing things that are so important and unique to you. I believe that God wants to use you to change the world right now.
Well, that is so encouraging and so refreshing from a person your generation. And so, Austin, thank you. It's called Live to Give. And let me encourage you to get a copy of it. There's a picture of it there on the screen put out by Thomas Nelson. And read it and share it with young people in your home or in your class. And parents, read it yourself. This is quite a moving book, and it cuts across all generations. And well, let me encourage you to get a copy of Live to Give. Austin, thank you. Fun to talk with you, and best to you as you head off to college. And I hope you put out some more books and share more stories, because obviously God's hand is on your life.
Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to share.